So our panel now is to discuss the different perspectives on programmatic.
然后的话呢，这个 panel 的部分来讲的话呢，是从不同的维度去探讨整个程序化。
And in the spirit of sharing ideas and information that we've seen today, we put together a session with leading agency and demand side global executives.
它主要是从整个就是采购的这个 buyer 这个角度来讲，它去分享程序化的一些不同的观点和这个经验。
These three esteemed executives
有3位高管
have wonderful global experience, and they are all DPAA members.
他们都是在行业内非常有经验的，然后他们也是 DPAA 的这个成员。
Now I'd like to welcome Mr. Barry Cupples, who is the global CEO of Talon Outdoor.
然后首先欢迎的是 Barry Cupples， 然后他是那个 Talon 传媒的全球的 CEO。
Akama Davies, or Akama, who is the Director of Global Solutions at Xaxis.
然后他还有那个另外一位是来自于 Xaxis 的这个提供方，是叫做Akama。
And Greg MacDonald, who is the VP Marketplace Sponsorships at Verizon Media.
然后还有来自于Verizon 传媒的 Greg MacDonald。
Barry and Cam are coming from London, and Greg is coming live from New York City.
然后 Barry 的话是来自伦敦，然后其他的话呢是来自于北美国。
Excellent. Now, if I could ask our panelists to turn their cameras and audio on.
然后我们开始打开。
And Blake and folks, are we seeing our panelists?
Yeah, everyone's on with their audio.
Okay, and video as well?
And video, yes.
Okay, great. Okay, there we go. Hi, folks. Nice to see Greg, Cam, and Barry. I've got you in full view now. Folks, what I'd like to start with for the moment is jumping on the theme of Andreas and the COVID effect around the world.
首先，我们第一个问题来讲的话呢，就是在整个疫情期间的话呢，关于整个市场的一些。
We have seen digital out of home and programmatic be very agile in a needed agility space.
实际上来讲的话呢，整个程序化包括整个户外广告来讲的话呢，都是属于一个比较就是尴尬的一个环境下。
I know, for instance, Talon Outdoor was very successful in moving around schedules and doing a great job for their clients in moving towards where audiences are and moving schedules around during this period. So maybe, Barry, would you like to speak to that? And welcome, Basil.
首先欢迎一下 Barry 来跟我们去分享一下他的整个观点。
Thank you, Barry, and thank you very much for the invitation. Yeah, so I'll talk about how we've moved. You're right, agile is the key word.
敏捷是一个很关键的词。
So we invested in some proprietary audience capability because it's missing from the industry, and we have built the programmatic capability on top of that audience proprietary data, and it has moved very quickly.
实际上来讲的话呢，就是他们在公司来讲的话呢，也是非常注重于整个的一个数据这一块的，所以对数据这边来讲的话呢，也有很多的分析。
I think most clients are very happy that out of home has finally joined properly the big table, which is doing, should we say, dynamic digital capabilities. So out of home is the last to join that table.
实际上来讲的话呢，整个户外广告来讲的话，在整个就是疫情期间来讲的话呢，也是大家会比较关注的。
Thank you. And Greg, and by the way, I should mention Barry ran Omnicom OMD for all of Asia and for Europe. So he's a tremendously well experienced advertising and media executive. So thank you, Barry. Greg, would you like to opine on that?
Yeah, COVID was something where we saw, we obviously saw huge COVID impacts, but the ability to be nimble and the ability to have omni-channel campaigns was very attractive to advertisers and has driven a significant amount of engagement from advertisers and demand over the course of even 2020.
实际上是在2020年来讲的话，这次疫情，然后那个户外广告的整个的程序化来讲的话呢，尤其是在整个的全域的这个程序化的投放来讲的话呢，其实也是有了很大的发展。
The ability to do omni-channel targeting and measurement is what's really driving that interest and the growth that we've seen this year or last year.
实际上去年包括今年来讲的话，整个的一个全域的这个受众的这个定向，包括整个评估来讲的话呢，其实都是会引起了这个行业的这个就是认知，有更大的兴趣。
Thank you. Do you have some more, Greg?
Oh, that's
okay,
good.
Thank you. Greg speaks very smartly to the video we ran at the beginning of this session that you cannot do omni-channel without OOH.
实际上来讲的话呢，就是对于户外广告的整个全域来讲的话呢，确实是在整个的一个就是疫情期间来讲的话呢，也是有了很大的发展。
And just for the translation purposes, I mentioned Barry earlier has run Omnicom OMD for Asia and Europe. If you could just translate that, thank you.
Barry 的话呢，之前也是 OMD 的，是 MD 在整个的亚太区的。
Now, I'd like to have Cam weigh in on the agility of programmatic and out of home during this phase.
然后Akama的话，对，也和我们分享一下在程序化这边的一些经验。
Absolutely. Similar to what Greg referred to, we've seen that advertisers are forced to do more with less, which has been a prime opportunity for programmatic to direct investment towards those out-of-home screens most likely to reach and impact target audiences with the greatest audience accuracy towards our desired outcomes. And what we're often seeing is a lot of
Cam, just maybe let him translate. Thanks.
OK， 实际上来讲的话呢，就是现在目前来讲的话呢，也是确实品牌方来讲的话呢，对于整个的一个全域的广告投放，对于它的这个有效性跟这个透明度来讲的话呢，也是确实是越来越看重。
And what we've seen as part of that is, as time is more precious, programmatic buying can save up to 50% versus traditional planning cycles.
实际上我们的整个全域的这边角度来讲的话，大概是增长了50%。
And audience accuracy has become ever increasing important, ultimately changing out of home from a game of scale to a game of skill, saving 30% efficiencies versus some traditional methods.
实际上来讲的话呢，它的整个的一个效率来讲的话，也是提高了很多。
Thank you, Cam. So let's stay with Cam for the moment and discuss, as you're all global executives on the demand side, and I should say Verizon Media is also on the supply side. Cam, which markets have you seen that have been quicker to embrace programmatic? Maybe translate.
实际上来讲的话呢，是说Xaxis 来讲的话，他们也是提供了供方跟需方的这样子的一个平台是在里面的。
There are several markets that have embraced the shift to programmatic, but crucially, it often depends on what the definition of programmatic is for that locality, the local topography, and population density.
实际上来讲的话，也是考虑因素会非常多了。就是第一个来讲的话，是什么叫做程序化，然 然后当然有很多不同的一些因素在里面，比如说一些流量啊，就是人流量啊这样子的一些因素要考虑进去。
A few that come to mind in particular are Italy, US, Canada, UK, and India.
然后的话呢，他们的话也是在英国，然后是在印度啊等一些国家来讲的话，有去做执行。
With successful markets being ones that strive to make the outdoor channel more accessible and attractive to digital opportunities.
然后呢，很多的一些户外广告来讲的话呢，进行整个数字化的，进入到整个数字化的整个的一个就是这个计划和这个采买中。
And there are 3 simple things in order to do this: integrating different supply access points for maximum scale, using data intelligently at the most effective times, and similar measurement metrics compared to other digital activities.
实际上来讲的话，这个时候是要通过技术的方式，智能的方式的话呢，是介入到这些不同的这个就是资源里面去。
Thank you, Cam. Greg, to speak to different markets, and I should also mention that Verizon Media has grown very successfully, and just this week at the CES show, the CEO of Verizon and the head of lead for Verizon Media spoke very eloquently on the world stage.
然后最近的话呢，就是Verizon Media 来讲的话呢，也是谈论会比较多，也比较火。
The CES is the Global Consumer Electronics Show out of Vegas, and now I ask Greg to speak after the translation.
OK， 然后呢 ，CES 的这个就是展览的话呢，是在美国的，它是最大的一个消费品的这个电子的类的展会。
Thank you, Barry. So we have seen huge adoption in digital out of home. It's our newest channel that we are very excited about. But we've seen huge adoption in the United States, of course, where our business is the largest, but also real traction in Brazil, Australia, the UK, Germany, and a number of other markets.
然后的话呢，其实他们也有很多的这个兴趣会在不同的这些国家，比如说西班牙呀这样子的一些国家。
Good. Okay. Let's talk to Barry about the global markets. Talon has a heritage in the UK, yet has very successfully expanded to the US and other markets. And Talon Outdoor is one of the really interesting and smart out-of-home specialists globally that Barry is leading. So Barry, what have you seen globally in programmatic?
Barry Outdoor 的话呢，它是英国具有很强影响力的一家公司。目前的话呢，也是在北美的话不断的去发展。然后在这个行业内的话呢，也是行业的专家，所以也请他去分享一下，就是说是这个行业内的整个的一个程序化的一个发展。
Thanks, Barry. Change, swift change at pace. I've worked in programmatic since it started at Omnicom and did all of the deals for Google, Facebook, and the other platforms. The big change is that it's now in out of home and growing.
实际上在之前来讲的话，它也是说是从线上的这个程序化这边来讲的话，也是经历过了的。那目前来讲的话，他们也是确实也是了解到这个户外广告的有一些具有挑战性的地方。
That said, people shouldn't be immune to the knowledge that it's very different in out of home than it is in those other media. You need to have very accurate audience data and you need to have access to that audience data. Otherwise, you're planning blind.
实际上线上的这些公司来讲的话呢，需要有一些对于户外的这些知识，技术的知识，然后尤其是说是对于整个受众的这些数据的这个理解和这个应用。
I don't want out of home to make a mistake here and have people believe that access is not needed. It's critical, and all I ask and implore clients and agencies is to check on that before they do anything in digital out of home.
实际上来讲的话呢，就是对于户外广告来讲的话呢，整个的一个程序化来讲的话，需要去说是它的这个数据维度是和现象是有很大区别。
But the future's bright.
但是就是未来是光明的。
So the future is bright, as we heard from Hivestack before. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and the future is very bright.
实际上刚才我们在整个的一个演讲中的话，我们也看到就是这个就是隧道的尽头就是亮光。
And now I'd like to ask each of the panelists for one quick case study example of some positive brand campaigns, and I'll start with Barry on that. Thank you, Barry.
然后
Thank you.
都来分享一个案例给大家。
I'll give you McDonald's because everybody knows what McDonald's is and what McDonald's are.
大家都知道麦当劳。
Unlike many clients in the world, they have been using data for many, many years.
他们使用这个数据很多年。
So they deployed Talon's audience measurement system, ADA, in order to be able to target consumers in a much more optimized way.
不同的技术还有人才的话呢，去了解这些他的这个顾客的一些的数据。
And use dynamic messaging to draw consumers into certified locations, which we could check via mobile location data.
然后的话呢，他们是通过这个就是手机移动的方式的话呢，能够去说来去就是投放这种动态的这种内容给到他们的这个顾客。
To draw a very swift conclusion on the ROI or the genuine return to the client on their top line, and more importantly, the bottom line for an outcome.
然后的话呢，他们能够去拿到整个的一个 ROI， 整个的一个就是一个评估回来。
In this case, McDonald's sold 5 times more menu items than they'd done previously.
实际上来讲的话呢，他们可能拿到整个的一个执行的这个效果的话呢，是比之前来讲的话呢，要出高5倍这样子的一个这个反馈。
Most importantly, Barry, and for all of our colleagues in China, all measured in real time.
然后有一个很重要的问题是要给到我们中国的同事，就是关于这个评估，而且是对实时的这个评估。
A situation which is important because I learned a lot when I lived in China running Omnicom's operations in the region, and China is teaching the world, not just me, how to do clear measurement within this field.
实际上来讲的话呢，他曾经在中国任职的时候来讲的话呢，其实也是说中国也是在教导我们关于这个数据的这个评估这一块。
Thank you. 谢谢。
谢谢。
Excellent. Thank you, Barry. And now I'm going to go to Greg. And Greg, you have a choice. Would you like to give us a case study or tell us what you see next in digital out-of-home programmatic? Translation.
下一个的话呢，跟我们分享另外一个案例。
Yes, I will share a case study, Barry. Verizon Media worked with Anheuser-Busch on a campaign this past summer for Bud Light brands or Budweiser, and they ran digital out-of-home video ads in gas stations and convenience stores.
实际上他们在去年夏天的时候的话呢，也是在整个的加油站和整个的便利店的话呢，做了一些就是程序化的投放。
The goal was to reach consumers on the go and increase summer sales.
然后这些主要是的受众的话，主要是在这些移动的这些人群，然后去尽量能够提高整个的一个销售。
It was an excellent example of an omni-channel campaign. In addition to digital out of home, it also ran in several other channels.
然后这也是一个很好的一个案例，就是做整个全域投放的时候，包含了整个的数字的户外和其他的整个媒体频道。
These were native, display, connected TV, and audio.
然后这个的话也包含了整个的是电视，还有整个的广播。
And the results were really excellent. They saw a 2x lift in offline sales.
然后这个的话呢，这个结果来讲的话也是非常的优秀的，然后也是确实提升了整个的一个销售的业绩。
So the client was happy, and we were excited to see this omni-channel approach come to life and deliver the results.
然后的话呢，客户是很满意的，然后我们也是很满意，然后也是帮客户的话呢，就是提升了他的整个的销售。
Excellent case studies. And now we go to Cam with the same at Xaxis. Thank you, Cam.
好，现在的话呢，我们分享一个案例。
A campaign that we ran that typifies the ability of out of home to drive outcomes is for Viva Sources in India.
然后这个案例的话呢，主要是发生在印度的。
Where we were able to identify using proprietary intelligence planning audiences which help the client increase in-store sales by up over 15%.
然后它的整个结果就是说是大药店的这个就是销售的话提高了就是50%。
The strategy enabled brand of Viva Sources to stand out in a very competitive marketplace.
实际上来讲的话呢，这是一个很有竞争的一个市场，很有竞争的一个市场。
Impacting consumers at 3 pivotal touch points before they entered the store, within the store, and at the billing counter.
然后的话呢，就是他们要进来之后来的话呢，然后就是需要支持他们去做个这个消费。
The proprietary planning intelligence allowed for data-driven targeting, measurement, and live creative updates, all delivered at highly localized and high-impact media sites.
然后实际上这一个很智能的一个平台来讲的话呢，是兼顾有整个的评估，还有包括整个自动内容的投放。
Thank you, Cam. So let's have a final question. And that was, Cam, that was a retail business. What business was that exactly?
Viva Sources, a CPG. Right?
CPG brand. Excellent. So let's talk for the moment as we wrap it up about China. Cam, what do you see for the opportunities about China? What do you like about China? How do you like Shanghai? And, you know, Xaxis as a major global force, part of the Group M and WPP global ecosystem. It's a pleasure to have you here. So some final thoughts on China, Cam.
Mm-hmm. We have a fantastic team in China. You heard from Lisa earlier in the event. And for us globally, the attraction of the Chinese market for programmatic is clear. Savvy clients and partners, and mobile first and commerce engaged consumers.
实际上来讲的话 ，Xaxis 的话，在中国的话也有很优秀的团队，比如说刚才我跟我分享的 Lisa 啊等等。
We believe that programmatic can be more fully realized by incorporating various aspects of the buying models.
实际上来讲的话，他们也是期待在中国这边来讲的话，就是会有很多的品牌会去在中国进行这个程序化投放。
And this is very similar to the global challenge we see of how we define programmatic digital out of home as an industry. How do we mirror the trading mechanics and outcomes of other programmatic channels, for example, CPMs in mobile, and how do we come together as an ecosystem to build unified standards?
实际上是跟国外一样来讲的话，他们也是理解在整个的一个全媒投放过程中来讲的话，如何去评估整个的一个就是广告的投放有效性，包括在手机端，还有包括在户外广告端来讲的话呢，不同的这个的就是策略，广告投放策略。
And I share the confident programmatic of my colleagues in China that programmatic will offer clients value by being increasingly efficient, effective, and exciting within the outdoor space.
实际上来讲的话，大家都对这块都是很有信心的，然 后前线和部门来讲的话，他们的话呢，确实也能够给未来的数据波澜带来一些益处。
Excellent. Thank you, Cam. Greg, your thoughts on China as Verizon Media expands globally?
Yeah, with digital out of home, we are very excited about the ability to grow this channel and to grow the spend there by making it easier to buy.
然后的话呢，当然他们也很开心能够去说是能够把他的业务发展到国内，然后的话进行这个媒体的这个采买。
But we are really looking to China and to the example that you're setting to learn some of the best practices and the ways to make it easier to plan, deliver, and measure for our clients.
实际上对他们来讲的话呢，也是需要去就是说做的如何去更加的简单的去做媒体的计划，然后媒体的这个采买跟投放。
Congratulations on your success there.
非常的恭喜大家。
Very nice. And Barry, your thoughts on China, where you used to live as a market, as a out-of-home market, and programmatic going forward?
My Chinese colleagues be under no false impression that China is leading the world, not the other way around.
实际上来讲的话呢 ，Barry 说是中国实际上也是在引领整个的全球。
Its connectivity and its end-to-end solutions and target measurement for consumers is unprecedented, really anywhere in the world, bar the US.
实际上我们的很多的一些技术，比如说我们的线上的评估技术等等的话，都是远远超过于一些其他的或者那个北美的这个国家的。
But the US is still learning how to play the end-to-end game, and they don't have products like Jingpao and Focus, as well as many things in Alibaba, Tencent, and Baidu.
在目前来讲的话，也没有一个像这样的公司，像阿里巴巴、腾讯这样的公司是在美国的。
And I believe the future, as I said, is very bright. I would love to think that I could do again in China with Talon what I did with Omnicom. And I'll look to wait for that opportunity and wish everybody all the best for the coming year.
然后 Barry 的话呢，也是很希望能够是回到中国，然后的话呢，在这个中国的市场来讲的话呢，然后再进一步的去探索一些商业机会。
Thank you. 谢谢。
谢谢。
I want to thank my 3 colleagues here, my 3 DPW members and leading executives.
然后在这边来讲的话 ，Barry 是想谢谢所有的参加的会员以及所有的 EPA 的这些会员。
For showing us how McDonald's sold 5 times as much product.
然后的话呢，就是也是刚才也是展示了这个麦当劳来讲的话是有5倍的这样子的一些结果，超越其他的。
How Budweiser delivered twice the delivery and packaged goods also succeeded at tremendous ROI.
实际上来讲，他也谈到了是说，另外一家的他们也是有2倍的不同的 ROI 的这样子的收获。
All of this was done in omni-channel fashion with great agility offered by Programmatic out of home.
实际上，这些所带来的都是由于这个户外广告的程序化。
And with excellent data, real-time data, and data supplied by Ada, which is the Talon system.
然后这些的话呢，都是要归功于一些就是这个数据，然后优秀的数据以及实时的数据，以及这个 Talent 这样子的一些就是技术公司、创新技术公司。
Now, as I come to closing, I want to thank all of our speakers today before I hand it off to Dimitri locally.
然后的话呢，现在的话呢，他还是做一个总结，然后的话也会去把这个会是交给 Dimitri。
We look forward to seeing all of you at the many live streaming DPAA events this year.
然后的话呢，也能看到大家来讲的话，今年能够去在线的话参加这次活动 ，DPA 的活动。
I also want to thank Victor and look forward to seeing you all October 12th for the big global DPAA summit in New York.
然后也非常的高兴能够去我们能够去参加10月12号的 DPA 的这个summit 的活动。
And for information on DPAA events and to become a member of the special global community,
大家的话呢，也可以就是说是登录这个网站，然后的话呢，能够加入到我们的这个大家。
please go to dpaaglobal.com.
大家可以去登录 dpaaglobal.com
and follow me and DPAA on all social media.
然后可以去成为我们的粉，然后通过不同的这个社交的这个通道。
谢谢您，Nia Yen.
We don't understand Barry.
That's very funny.